Once again, welcome my viewer and my listener. This is Ericho Kiogora. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for your continued support over my channel. God bless you so much. Continue supporting as we move forward. Today I want to share to us about being alone in the jungle. Sometimes in life we want people to be around us, feel what we feel, and have compassion with us. But I have discovered that not every time will people feel what you feel, and not every time people will have compassion over what you are going through. In the book of Matthew 26 and verse number 38, the Bible says, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'My soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even to death.'" And verse number 40, "He came again and found them sleeping." Now, you find that Jesus and the rest of his disciples, he had mentored them. He was there for them in the time they were in trouble. But during this time, when his time had come for him to go to the cross, to fulfill the purpose for his existence, even his disciples, the closest allies, were not there for him. They were sleeping instead of keeping awake with him, even in prayers. God sometimes requires us to be alone, even when we are surrounded by people who can help us. When you don't understand this, you are going to develop hatred against people when it is not God's will. The problem with many of us today is that we fear to be alone. Many of us, we fear to be alone in prayers. We fear to be alone in meditation. We fear to be alone reading the Word of God. We fear to be alone even in self-evaluation. We fear to be alone in fasting. Jungle is not a good place to be. It is not even a secure place to be alone. But sometimes God is going to allow you to be there all alone. Let me mention several people who are alone in the jungle and the things they were able to accomplish. Number one is Jacob. The Bible says that as he slept in the jungle, a man came and restored him. And when the dawn was coming, the Bible says that he was broken and his name was changed. He was no longer Jacob, but was called Israel. This is clear that the jungle is a place of battle. You lose a lot when you think that people will battle with you, and when you think that people are going to help you in your fight. Jesus, after realizing that his disciples were asleep, he left them and prayed all night. He fought his battles all alone. The second person is David. He was in the jungle fighting with the lion and the bear. This built his stamina to stand before any giant over his life. And that's why he had confidence even standing before Goliath. Jungle builds your stamina to face anything in life. The third person is Hanna. You remember Hanna? She was in the temple alone, praying for being childless. She cried day and night. She was persecuted by her close allies, but she never gave up. A jungle is a place of praying and even pouring your heart before God. When everything else has fallen apart, you turn to him and cling upon him till you are delivered from whatever you are going through. So instead of you complaining that people are not understanding you, people are not helping you, just know that sometimes your jungle does not require people. I repeat it again. Instead of you complaining, instead of you hating people because they have not helped you, sometimes you discover that people you helped so much, when it comes to the time of you being helped, they are not there. I came to realize that sometimes God is going to command destiny helpers to help us for a certain season. And after they are through with that, God is going to take them away from us. Some people are left cleaning. They want people to go with them everywhere they go. Even Abraham, when he was about to sacrifice Isaac, he understood that there is a point he can never go with his servant. And when he came to a certain point, he told them, "Now you can be left here as I proceed." Sometimes the place of destiny requires you to be alone. It is when you are alone that God can deal with you. It is when you are alone that God can mold you. And then he can build such stamina that you can stand before even your giants in life after he has elevated you. So you who has been harboring hatred, bitterness and unforgiveness because some people never helped you, just know that you are ruining your life for nothing. And before God, you are still a baby. Maturity is when you learn that at a certain point, it is not about what people do for you, but what you can do for others after you have endured your molding and defeated your giants. David, Jesus, Jacob, Abraham, Moses, after learning to be alone and fighting the fears and the battles, then they were able to rescue other people. So conquer your fears today. Go through jungle alone, build enough stamina, and you coming out, the name of God will be glorified through you. Just understand that sometimes when you go all alone, sometimes when you find yourself, even the closest friends, they're not with you. Sometimes it is not because that they hate you. It is sometimes because God has allowed you to go through that so that He can mold you and even mold the greatness in you. So don't fear to be alone sometimes. Jesus in the Gethsemane, if he had not built enough stamina of being alone. David in the wilderness, if he never built the stamina of being alone. When Saul was running against him and he was all alone, he couldn't have given up. Jacob could never have been changed that name if he was not secluded and God dealing with him. Sometimes God will seclude you out of people. Sometimes you're going to find yourself all alone in that jungle, but it is all for your good that He builds enough stamina for you that you can resist the giants and the mountains that could have stood before you to hinder even your destiny. So don't hate any person. Don't have a bitterness and unforgiveness for people who have not helped you. Maybe it is that God is preparing you that you can stand